All right, could I please get a motion to open the Wednesday, August 3rd, 2022 meeting at 6:33 p.m., please?
I move to open the meeting of August 3rd at 6:33 p.m.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. All right, so we got to ratify the agent's approval. The first two we can't do anything with. We're waiting on revisions. I'm going to read them all off, and then Bob, I'd like to have a discussion if you have any problem with any of them. I'd like to start with 48 Brandeis Circle, 712 Old Plymouth Street, 15 11th Avenue, 124/134 Fuller Street, Lot 13C, 416 Plymouth Street, and 126 Fuller Street, Lot 13B. Are there any problems with any of these permits?
No, the only reason why we listed 124, 134 Fuller Street was because we finally got the assessor's actual address. It was an empty lot, so we had it listed as 124, but it's actually 134. So just wanted to, and those have been corrected on the plan.
All right. Can I get a motion to ratify the agent's approval for Section C, numbers 1 through 6?
I move to ratify the agent's approval for Section C, items 1 through 6.
All in favor?
Aye.
Requiring local upgrades and variances. All right. I'm looking for a... What word am I looking for? I can't remember the word now. I'm looking for a motion to approve the sleeve analysis in place of the perk test due to high water in 63 Palmer Mill. I also would like to looking for a motion to approve the use of a sleeve analysis for 224 Cranberry Drive. That's kind of odd for that road, isn't it?
Yeah, but it just wasn't, it would have taken all day to park. So they're going to have a big remove and replace.
Really? On that road, huh?
Cranberry's a little different. It depends on where you are on the road, is what happens. And Palmer Mill is the one that we have the betterment loan.
Yes, that's the raised ranch on the left side.
That's going to help her get moving. She's been in touch with us, and everything's ready to roll.
Who's the engineer on these two, do you know?
The engineer on Palmer Mill is Shane McGlone, and the engineer for Cranberry is Webby.
All right, can I get a motion to approve these two upgrades and variances?
Yep, I move to approve the local upgrades and variances for 63 Palmer Mill Road and 224 Cranberry Drive.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, the horse is making too much noise, Bob.
Well,
It's only been
last
there
month
20
we
years.
did receive a complaint. The basic gist is to let us know of the loss of quality of life due to the loudspeaker. So there hasn't been an event since we got the complaint in. I've visited many times and haven't been able to witness it. However, I will investigate this allegation because we do have an event coming up. I really think it would be important, though, as noise and the loss of quality of life has come across our table a couple of times, that it may be time for me to look into us doing a noise ordinance, one that will give we have all the recommendations from DEP, and I can do sound tests, but there's also other towns that have a noise ordinance. There's
Between certain hours.
Yeah, it's
a
usually
lot of state guidance on it. So,
Yeah.
So,
Do we know what time this complaint occurred?
well,
what time the horse show operates?
Yeah.
So years ago, I had a dog that barked, and my neighbor complained, and the police department told me that if your neighbor considers it a nuisance, it is a nuisance.
So, according to the actual complaint, my husband and I have been asking Scott Clausen and his team at Fieldston to turn down the speakers for 2 years. There's loud feedback, and you can hear the announcements inside my house. I woke up to an announcement of the back-in barn and feedback from the speakers this morning on my day off. I'm now upstairs in my office, windows closed, and I can hear the speakers. This goes on almost every day of the week, all summer long into September.
Aren't they only weekend shows, Bob?
Well,
Right.
the event schedule is May 11th through the 15th, May 18th through the 22nd, June 22nd through the 26th, the 29th through July 3rd, July 6th through 10, August 17th through 21, and then it will be the 23rd through the 28th, and then September 11th. So
there's only 3 left. I mean, we really don't have enough time to really...
well, it will give me, I've already contacted there's, they have a safety coordinator on site all the time. And I've asked him for his thoughts, his input. Is there something where and how it could get turned down? We're back to everybody's hearing's a bit subjective. Some hear a lot, some don't hear anything. Some noises bother some people, some don't. It's again, an investigation that would have to be performed and
But again,
let
it
the
should only-
chips fall where they fall.
Noise ordinances are only during certain hours, though. That's the way I understand it, like between the hours of, say, 8 at night and 8 in the morning or something.
Right.
Right. So that's what you would try to do. I mean, let's say
I mean, for all we know, this lady gets up at 11.
I have a neighbor who lives right outside Forges Field, which has baseball games all summer.
Yeah.
They have nothing, for a period, this, that. So, I mean, there's just certain areas where events go on where there's going to be some kind of noise. Now, you obviously have to make sure that that noise is
Not
at a
detrimental.
respectable level.
Right.
But then again, the dog that barks up above my house constantly, to me is an unacceptable level, but I haven't filed a noise complaint, So it depends on...
I'd be really interested to find out at what time this noise is going on. That would be one thing I think would play a major part.
And do we know if they spoke to the people at Fieldstone?
Yes, she spoke both with Clausen and the other
Yeah.
guy. They've been speaking for years.
Okay.
Oh,
So I do believe our first course of action has always been to try to bring the two parties together
Yeah, yeah.
and see if they'll come to a reasonable compromise.
Yep.
I don't want to tell you how I think that one's going to end up, so we'll go,
Yeah.
it could go either way, apparently.
Right, right. Well, I mean, and it sounded like, so it said feedback, so it's like, okay, is there equipment? Like, is there equipment,
Faulty, well, that's where I have the safety guy looking into.
Okay.
Is faulty equipment, because,
Yeah.
yes. I do know a few years ago, I wasn't the agent at the time, but they had the ESPN was here with the big screen, and
wow,
they were doing
yeah,
the
yeah.
international Olympic trials, so, I mean, that's always a possibility too, so.
Yeah.
If we did get an ordinance in place, they'd have to play by the same rules
Right.
altogether, so.
Yeah.
Our
let
goals
us know what you hear when you're there. Hear when you're there.
will do.
All right, tobacco violations. This is an interesting one.
This is it's very disappointing. Because, what I always say is prevention's the best medicine. We have policies, procedures in place, and yet 5 out of our 9 tobacco retailers sold to a minor.
How'd you find that out?
So, what happened was the federal government came in and they conducted a sting operation where they send in a minor and boom. And then the results come back to the retailer and to us. Well, I don't know, to me 5, 6 out of 9 is an F.
Yeah. Yep. Right.
So, usually, we would be able to, had we conducted the investigation,
Yeah.
or I used to utilize a resource that the state has, that the town would pay for, had conducted it, then we could use the new fines that are in place. Because as of, just straight on here, 6/2/2022, the new state tobacco law, which they just revised one that was in place, and an act to modernize tobacco control, has some serious fines for these type of violations. In my correspondence with the state, because I was ready to issue fines, they said, no, you can't, because it was from the federal government, not by one of our agencies.
Oh, okay.
So it's sort of
So it was federal that came? Or
well, federal, yeah, it's
the sting?
state. Yeah, the sting was from FDA.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So not the state.
Nope.
Right. Wow.
Yeah, so 5. So, and,
5 out of 9, you said?
5 out of 9.
Wow. So do they just deal with it then? We don't deal with it?
Well, that's just it. They don't do anything. They send them a letter. They
That's
say,
it.
by the way, you were in violation.
Okay. Do we have to send a follow-up saying, if you violate again, please be aware of the fines, or?
I would like to call them in.
Okay.
I would suggest that if they can't make the same meeting altogether, schedule it on 2 agendas,
Sure.
and make them come in, and that would offer them the ability to explain
Yeah.
what they do, policies, procedures. And it also gives us the opportunity to assist them, because I did reach out again to the Mass Health Officers Association, Tobacco Control Program Director, Sarah, who I know very well. She goes, Bob, there's so much free information out there for you. They have free testings, both in English and Spanish. We have all the free signage. We have, so if we're not part of the solution, we're part of the problem.
Right.
So, as much as I want to call them in to make sure that they understand that moving forward, if this happens and we could conduct our own stings, these are the fines that you're going to get.
Right.
And just, and they're aware of this because I've already communicated it to them, but.
Since the
Right
sting
here.
or before the sting?
Oh, before the sting.
Okay.
First violation, $1,000. Second violation, $2,000. And at least 1 day and up to 7 days, consecutive days, of prohibiting their sales.
Right.
Third violation, within 36 months, $5,000, and not less than 30 days. So, that's not something that we would have to even worry about going to court for, because it's already in the state law.
Yep.
So it would be fair, to them to know that we're disappointed. It would also be fair of us to offer them all the assistance that we can to try to make this not happen again. It's not, oops, I had a flavored cigarette in the store. You're selling to a minor. And the whole idea behind this tobacco control law is to
Not do that.
not
Right.
do that. So,
Well, it sounds like they just need to train their staff and let their staff know about the fines too, like,
and yes, and then a degree of monitoring.
yeah,
I won't name the organization, but it's a corporate chain outside of this town that had got caught in one of my tobacco stings. He goes, Bob, I'll pay the fine, but I can't believe it happened. He goes, we have a safeguard in place that if the ID doesn't scan, we can't make the sale, da-da-da-da-da. He goes, do you mind if I look it up on the videotape? So of course, I'm right here, come on, let's look, right? Hey, Mike, so he calls up the kid, right, and both of our drawers just hit the desk. So the kid goes up, hands him the ID, tries to scan it, won't scan it. The cashier pulls out his wallet,
and does his.
grabs his license,
Oh, my.
scans the ID, and sells to the kid. So it's not a foolproof system. However,
That is foolproof.
yeah, that's as tight a lockdown as that particular establishment could have done. But on the same point now, there's a way to retrieve the informations of how many times a certain ID is scanned.
Ah,
So
Right.
with technology,
Yeah.
you may be able to take it like one step further, just to try to help also the retailer, because the guy's not going to be in the store 24/7.
Right.
You hire outside help, and you have to
Yeah,
put your
yeah.
trust in them. And a lot of times, same as food safety, it is that education
Yeah.
of the employee to let them know why we're doing it, and
Right.
you're really not helping somebody if they're underage, and
Right.
and then just say, yeah, we can get a fine, and if we get this fine, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to let you go.
oh yeah, he was terminated before I think I left
Yeah,
the building.
I bet.
So, but so I think it would be a good twofold message,
Yep.
and show that we don't take these matters lightly.
Right.
Yeah. What's going over on Leiden Lane, Bob?
So I did, I sent out an order for him to correct, and he picked it up, and nothing got done in 14 days. So I was about to pull the trigger on the next step, and Darlene from the Council on Aging happened to jump in and say, hey, Bob, Brockton has a hoarding task force, and the Council on Aging has a behavioral health person.
Yeah.
So right now, the two of them have the reports and are working to come to a resolution with it. So I have to thank the director, Darlene,
yeah.
over there, because I didn't know that service existed.
Has there been any, I understand there's talks, but has there been any physical moving of anything over there?
Not yet.
All right, how long, I feel that we need to put it, we can't just say, okay, everyone's talking, and 9 months later, everyone's still talking. I feel like we have to put a time limit.
Well, yeah, we definitely can, which is going to be start writing fines. I can't get in the house, and we know where fines got us on.
Can we just condemn it?
63 Plymouth Street.
Yeah, nowhere.
I mean, I don't want to condemn anybody's house, but I mean, if this guy is just showing that he ain't gonna listen, I mean, eventually you gotta stop playing hardball.
We'll definitely have to speak to legal to find out where the process will go in that.
Yeah, yeah.
We can posted condemned, but I haven't been able to get in yet.
Has she been able to make any sort of discussion with him, headway, anything? I mean, is he...
Darlene's not speaking to him directly. Right now, it's in
The task force or
the
whatever?
task force hands. They deal with these kind of problems.
Yeah.
They're very receptive, and they've only been on it now for like a little bit over a week.
Okay.
So, yeah, since I came back from vacation, so,
Have you heard anything more from the neighbors?
no.
Okay, that's good.
I'd just be curious to find out. I mean, I get it, it's only a week, but I'd be curious to know if something has happened in that week, other than false prayers and hopes.
Yeah, well, from what I know of the Brockton Task Force, which I just gained the information on, they're good at this and they're experienced at it.
Okay.
You know, it's Brockton, and not to say that communities are different, but they probably have 10 cases to
Well, yeah,
one.
because they're such a
Right.
bigger, well, they're a city, right? City of
Right.
Brockton, we're just a little
Yeah.
town, but.
City of Champions.
Yeah,
All right, so how's COVID going, Bob?
well,
We still dropping?
no. Well, average run rates are in the 5.95, which is consistent with the whole state. You know, COVID's is not going away, but that 5.95 number is only people who are getting tested. The amount of people who are getting tested is going way down, probably because of the amount of people who can get home tests and testing at home.
Yeah.
So I don't know what kind of faith you put in that number.
So is that an automatic report? Like, so if someone goes to CVS
Yep.
and their address, so you just get that, they send that information to you?
If it's a positive test
Yeah,
from CVS,
yeah.
it goes to the Department of Public Health.
Okay.
And then it comes to me.
Oh, okay, okay.
Because they want it for their epidemiology.
Yep,
And then we do the contact tracing
yep,
to help them out with, you know, the investigations. Of which, I'll say Laurie's been doing an outstanding job, our nurse, with
Yep.
contact tracing on all infectious
Right.
diseases. And I still recommend that, you know, people that the best source of information, because a lot of people want to know what the numbers are now and this and that. Go to mass.gov, go to CDC. And the one thing that I've started to follow, and a lot of public health officials are, is the wastewater treatment
Yeah.
results that are coming out of the plants. Because they're pretty darn close to once you see a spike, 2 weeks later, you're gonna get a spike.
yeah, yeah.
So even though it's Chelsea or there, or, you know, wherever the wastewater facility is that
Yep.
they're testing, you can just say, okay, well, it could be close in your community then too, to at least being a spike in general.
Right.
You know, you don't have quite the same population tightened together.
Right.
Now, Laurie's also been doing a lot of webinar training on behavioral health and substance abuse, so that we're better prepared to handle the challenges that are newer. You know, we all have a degree of knowledge in it, but as you know, this pandemic presented a lot of new problems, and the state's had a lot of great webinars, and she's been jumping right in on those.
Nice.
Awesome. All right, drought. I'm hoping, so one thing I want to say about the drought, I was really surprised. I actually looked today to see if we've gone the next level, and it's not. We're still allowed to use water 2 days a week, I believe it is. I stopped because 2 days or I think it's 1 day even, 1 day odd, isn't going to bring my lawn back.
Right.
However, you got Pembroke, who I've been hearing about restaurants closing because there's no water.
Yep.
So I'm a little surprised we're not completely shut down, but let's talk about the drought.
So, okay, I put drought. Let's talk health 101. Okay? What are our basic needs? Air, water, food, shelter, and clothing. So, in the big picture of things, okay, whether there's a ban out there or not a ban out there, when you hear drought, what's more important? Groundwater and being able to drink, or a green lawn?
Depends on who your neighbors are.
I guess that's what it depends on. But in the basic essentials of life, we need to protect the waters that we have in the best way. I'm not saying you don't water your vegetables, because then you're going to eat, the fruits and stuff that come from it.
Right.
And maybe a couple of plants, but if you got 6 acres of lawn and your sprinklers are running while it's raining out, I'll throw that one out at you, because I watched Walmart the other day, not this one, the one in Plymouth. They watered the road better than I've ever seen.
Oh, I hate that.
And there was more water running down that drain.
Right.
So if we all just do a little bit of conservation, it helps bring us through these tough times, and really helps, the environment that we're in.
Now,
So-
do we get anything from Mont Ponton, or is that only Brockton?
Oh, that's only Brockton. Except for if the cranberry bog gets the water for their...
Doesn't make sense why we have a tributary to Brockton, but not to our own town.
1964, they made a pact, and apparently maybe we could pull water from it, but...
We don't?
And we don't even charge Brockton for what they take.
Right.
So, that was...
I'm a little surprised nobody's looked into maybe updating that.
Oh, they have.
I think they have, yeah.
They've looked at it eight ways to Sunday.
What is it, ironclad or something?
Either that or maybe millions of dollars to,
Change it.
returning fees,
Gotcha.
whatever it may take.
All right, so,
So that puts us into the home stretch here.
all right, well, this is actually my least favorite part. I gotta read. All right, so, affirm bills paid for weeks 1, 2, and 3, January 7th, 2022, July 16th, 2022, and weekend in July 30th, 22. I'd like to affirm the payroll on those 3 weeks.
I move to affirm payroll for weeks ending July 7th, July 16th, and July 30th, 2022.
All in favor? Aye. Expense account 01-512, fiscal year 22-20. We have the Express newspaper for $56, the GNL Lab for $40 on May 24th. On May 31, we have the GNL Lab for $40. Invoice ending 177 on June 7th for 40, June 14th for 40, June 21st for 40, and June 28th for 40. These all being beach tests. Could I get a motion to affirm as read?
Motion to affirm expenses as read under items 1 and 2.
All in favor?
Aye.
Just an FYI too, on that Express newspaper, which was the advertising for the part-time secretary position, I learned that there's actually a different account that the town uses for talent requirement, acquirement. So, moving forward, that won't be out of our budget, will be out of their budget.
Nice.
Can I get a motion to approve expense account 01-512, fiscal year 22-21, invoice number ending 7367 for bat rabies testing for $103.60.
I motion to approve expense account 01-512, fiscal year 22-21 for the BCA Hanson invoice for the bat rabies testing.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Let's see, I'd like to affirm the following 3 out of account number 01-512, fiscal year 23-01. Number 1, Pitney Bowes for mail meter funds of $200. Number 2, NEHA for the health agent for credentialing. Look at that one.
Credentialing exam.
Yeah, that one. Retake exam for $295. The MHOA annual membership fee of $60. And also the annual conference of $475. Why is there a second membership?
It's MIHA.
MIA. Oh, all right, MEH.
There's a NEHA.
And then MIA annual membership for $50.
And the conference will be in October. So.
I motion to approve expenses for account 01-512 FY 23-01 for items 1 through 4 as read.
All in favor?
Aye.
Bob, do we have a rabies issue in town? Because now I'm seeing for a dog, as well as a sort of bat up ahead a little bit.
So, on this particular one, we're helping out by doing the euthanasia and rabies, but it was just a rabid raccoon, and then on the bat, it was just a bat that happened to be in, but there was a really bad dog bite that happened, yes, and
So did a raccoon bite the dog, or what?
so on the husky, yes.
And that was a
So
real
the
bad
rabid
bite.
raccoon bit the dog.
Exactly.
Oh, gosh.
And usually it's totally the homeowner's responsibility.
Yeah.
But there was a little bit of miscommunication between the animal control officer,
Yeah.
our inspector, the vet. So we now have it all squared away so that they know who pays for what, when,
Right.
where, and how.
Did the dog have to be put down, or was that for the raccoon?
Actually, the raccoon and the dog were both put down, so they're wrapped into one here. Yeah.
Okay.
That's sad.
All right. Affirm expense account 01-512, fiscal year 23-02 to VCA Hospital for euthanasia and rabies test.
I move to approve expense account 01-512 FY 23-02 for VCA Hanson Animal Hospital for euthanasia and rabies test.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Revolving account, fiscal year 22-20. The following to G&L Lab for beachwater testing. Invoice number ending 2621 on May 24th of 2022 for $40. May 31st, 2022 for $40. Invoice ending 3177 for June 7th for $40, June 14th for $40, June 21st for $40, and June 28th for $40. All of the above being for beach water testing.
And do you want to do the next one too, since they're all
Yeah,
on the
let's
same
do it.
revolving?
Yep,
They're all revolving.
fiscal year 22-21 for Webby Engineering for invoice ending 22A. 63 Palmer Mill Road, and invoice ending 22B for 48 Brandeis Circle.
I move to approve revolving account 25-513 for items 1 and 2 as read.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, revolving account 25-513, fiscal year 23-01. Invoice for plan reviews to John Delano for $85, Bucher and Son for $85.
Except for that account.
Yep.
I motion to approve revolving account 25-513 FY 23-01 items 1 and 2 as read.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Landfill engineering account 01-519 fiscal year 22-04. Looking to affirm the following: tie and bond on June 15, 2022, invoice ending 4022 for landfill gas and groundwater monitoring for professional services rendered through May 28th of 2022 for $6,892. FYI 22-05, tie and bond, April 2nd, 2022, invoice ending 4090 for landfill gas and groundwater monitoring for professional services rendered through April 2nd of 2022 for $850.
I move to approve landfill engineering account 01-519, items 1 and 2 as read.
All in favor?
Aye.
Right. Nursing services account 01-522, fiscal year 23-01. Looking to affirm invoice numbers ending 222 for $583.33 for that covers the nursing service.
I move to approve nursing services account 01-522 FY 23-01, item 1 is read.
All in favor?
Aye.
iPad gift account 26-514-4830-02, fiscal year 2209. Affirm the bill for the AT&T mobile cellular iPad use contract from May 12, 2022 through June 11th of 2022 for $40.23.
I move to approve iPad gift account 26-514-4830-02 FY 2209, item 1 as read.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. The following, we're looking to approve the following permits. Number 1, with the condition that all required documents are submitted to the Board of Health office. Lulu's Cafe, Chad Miller, 2022 mobile food permit for June 25th, 2022 for the fireworks show. Kyle Devenish, the 2022 soil evaluators permit. And Steve Rye, land planning for 2022 soil evaluators permit.
I move to approve permits as read 1 through 3.
All in favor?
Aye. This was signed, what we need to sign.
If we have more. Yes. Revolving accounts, these don't have to be affirmed, just signed, correct?
Yep.
All right, permits. All right, so we got more permits though.
You good?
All right, the following permits I'm looking for approval for, with the condition that all required documents are submitted to the Board of Health office. Thomas Young, Monpontic Cottage Foods, 2022 kitchen permit. What is that, Bob? Oh, where is that?
It says
Actually,
residential.
it's his house and he's baking breads. It's over, oh shoot, I don't remember exactly where it was. Not far from the pond though.
I was going to
He's
say,
doing
Monpont.
like organic,
Oh, really?
yeah, cold bread. I was going to tell you.
Has he got a
Like,
storefront or
yeah.
anything, or is he got a storefront or anything?
He's going to try selling some just like in front of his house, which is fine to do. And then he's looking into farmers markets and maybe Nasrella's stand. And,
Yeah, right.
That'd be pretty cool.
On Ponce
Yeah.
Cottage Foods. I wonder if we can search that online.
Yes.
They have one down at Gray's Beach the first Sunday of every month.
We had one in Marshfield, and the guy actually used to own a big catering company and just got burnt out. He goes, Bob, I saw more loaves of bread on this corner, and he's just doing it for fun.
Oh, funny. Nice.
So,
All right, so number 2 would be Taylor Cabral, TG Cabral's excavation for the 2022 septic installers permit. Number 3 is Sam Speakman, of Speakman Excavating LLC for the 2022 septic and solids permit.
I move to approve permits as listed 1 through 3.
All in favor?
Aye.
Alright.
That gets off of Ocean Avenue. You're on Ocean Avenue, you take a right. I forget the name of the street. That's
where it is.
his house is. Yeah.
Could I get a motion to close the August 3rd meeting at 7:14 p.m.?
I move to close the August 3rd meeting at 7:13 p.m.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes unanimously.